the Hispanic side, that there's a lot sometimes where like autism isn't really talked about. It's a lot more talked about in like English and spoken about, but like in Spanish, it's not. I don't know. So I
Maybe a good idea. I mean, obviously, I don't speak Spanish, but like that to be able to get on there and stuff like that. But like, I definitely know like when I've talked about it before, like with other people, like up at Chick-fil-A, because most of them are like Hispanic and stuff like that, and they would tell me like, you know, a lot of them would be like, oh, you just like no, like wait until they get older, things like that and stuff. And it's just it sucks like that. Each culture has to go through it in a different way, and it like sometimes won't be accepted. Like
I've gotten comments where like my son's fine, like this is all brand new, but I would tell them like maybe because parents like because back then when I first got the diagnosis, I was scared to go out. Like I was scared of judgment. I was scared of all of that. So
yeah.
So maybe that's why like they didn't see it as much because they didn't.
They all did the same hit and just didn't do anything about it. But then you also get the he doesn't speak because está empachado, or you need to hacerle un pasado de huevo, or like no, it doesn't just all about because yes, they will. And I was like, okay, I didn't fall into those tactics, but still, like you'll hear it. Mm-hmm. Oh, you cut his hair when he was young, huh? You cut it before he was 1. That's why the kid doesn't talk.
Yes.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a blessing. They know when to come to us. They know when we need to be saved. They know when we need them. They choose us for a reason. I believe that they choose us for a reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm always saying. Like, I'm thankful it's me. I'm thankful for my kids, and I'm their mom.
Yes. Yes. Woo, that was a good one. Cheers.
You know, like her, you know.
Yeah,
and that's when I'm like, when it does hurt me, when like adults don't know how to react to disabilities, or they act like they don't know, or like it's contagious or something. You know?
Yes.
Or call them over from like afar, like
like come over here, and I'm like, what the heck? Like my son was trying to play with your kid, like
yeah.
There's days where I ignore it, but there's days where it's like too hard not to ignore it because they make it obvious, like they want me to know, like that I should leave, or like you know, like
like we're the problem, or we're the ones. Yeah, I get it. I think I'm like that too. Like I don't go with the intent of like try me, but once I feel the vibe, I'm like try me, like and usually nothing happens. Again, I usually do the wave, and then they stop licking or they just avoid eye contact for the rest of the time or whatever. But I've had a lot of kids actually, like anytime we're using his device, they're like, "What is that?"
We have an amazing support group, and I'm like, man, like I had some really tough days when I was younger. Like in the beginning stages, I cried every day because I felt like I didn't know how to help my son, and I was trying to figure it out. I was the first one in the family to have somebody, and I'm like, man, like the support group would have been so good.
Same here.
I'm like back then because it was so bad.
And we all like, not saying we all have similar stories, but like, you know, like I was a teen mom, like, you know, and things like that. So like, it makes me feel good when I'm able to reach out to y'all because you guys are older, but not like hella older. Like, oh, for put something and telling me like, oh, well, this is what I did. My kid's 28 now. Like, my kid's only 6. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, so it's good to get the wisdom that you guys gained over the years. And that's what I love about it is because I know I could come to you guys and be like, hey, like, I'm kind of going through this situation. And it's not going to be like, oh, well, what's going on? Like, you know, it's like, okay, like, this is what Kim will say. This is what Yaya will say. And then all the other girls. And then I can collectively be like, okay, that's what they're thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Let's merge it. But not like technically get like influence. But like, you know, it's just good to bounce off of each other. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. And I like that we don't judge. Like, we not judge.
Because I told you guys earlier, like, I have to tell myself they're in a different point of their journey. They just got here or they just, you know, figured this out. So it does. And it's also like a bittersweet moment because it's like seeing your kid so little and seeing like, I'm just like, wow, I used to feel just like that. And like, it makes me so proud. I'm like, oh my God, he's accomplished so much, you know? So it's nice to like, you know, see the different parts of people's journey because during junior being 4 or 5, like that was my loneliest time, you know?
Those were the toughest from 4, I think to 7.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6. He only left the diaper when he was 6, like almost 6. So yeah, I also thought like, I'm like, he's probably going to be in the diaper for much longer, but.
And that's, my son's 11 and he's still in super hard when we go out in public because we do not have a adult changing table.
You know what? There's like a news report here locally where like a mother took her adult son with her into the bathroom because he needed a diaper change. And the ladies freaked out and they made a whole big deal saying that men shouldn't be in the women's bathroom and like they just shamed her for it. And I'm like, people just don't get it. Like the fact that they can't even sit there and think how sad that this mother has to go through this. It's more like you have a grown adult. Like he doesn't think like a grown adult. He's not in here looking at ladies like, what am I going to see?
That's what
I think. I shared that with you not too long ago. Where like the older they get, and if you know they're still stimming and they're still like you know, because like some people say, oh, autism is an invisible disability, but like not for my son. Like you see him and you know like he's different. You know? And so the older he gets, like it seems like the less accepting it is. Like it's not so cute anymore.
You guys, I'm about to cry. Oh my gosh.
Because it is true. Like people don't take it as cute as a little kid who's stimming and flapping their hands. Like, oh, look at him, he's so happy. When they're big and they look like they're, they're pushing an age, they're like, oh, the looks change. And so I've grown a thicker skin. I kind of like when people stare, I wave at them. And it makes them like they're startled and oh, whoa, like maybe we should stop staring. Or some people are just curious. Some people just genuinely like, oh, because I can't be there and be like, why are you looking? Like obviously someone's gonna turn when they hear, his screech or when they hear him like being so loud.
Like screech and stuff.
Yeah. And so it's all about how the person carries it. Because if I was like, oh my God, no, that's cool, then people are not gonna accept it. People are not gonna like not see it differently. So it does teach you to grow thicker skin over time, but it does hurt. It does hurt when people like they discriminate because your child is so different.